Cross.
Hi, my name is Anna.
And I'm Peyton.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with a reaction that we are both so excited for. We'll be reacting to Super Junior D&E's comeback, B.A.D, B.A.D,
Yeah.
however it's pronounced.
Because in the song, because we watch the teasers and like they say B.A.D, but then they also say like bad at times too. So anyway.
Who knows?
But if you have watched this channel before, you know that both Peyton and I love Super Junior. My Super Junior bias is Donghae, and it has been that way for over a decade now. Yeah. And Eunhyuk is like everyone's bias wrecker. So
yeah, he's like the original bias wrecker.
Anyway.
Also, quick disclaimer before we start, there is a 3-year-old in my house, and he's being quiet right now, but if you hear a child screaming, it's him. So nothing is wrong.
And also, it's supposed to thunderstorm very soon. So
let's just get into it.
Hello. Hi. That was the thumbnail, and they look so good.
They're so regal, but why does he always have a bucket hat on?
I know. Hi. Okay. So I was saying, like, based on the teaser, it sounded kind of like retro-y. And like D&E has always had more like a retro-esque, disco-esque sound.
My heart is not prepared for this.
I know, I was like, Peyton, you haven't said anything yet. Wow. I just really love the shot with them on the horses.
I love them.
That kind of, it looks like a carnival.
Ooh.
Or
like
not carnival, the
house,
circus.
Like the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big top. I love watching them dance. Like, the standard of dance that they have set.
I just love them, but you know, that's cool too. Wow. I mean, trap beat-esque thing for rap. I feel like this is the quietest we've been in a reaction in a while.
Ooh, it was a nice close-up shot.
It was beautiful. Wow. What? Why'd you gasp?
Because he did a spin on point.
Oh. What does it say? What is like the background thing that they're saying?
I can't. I have no thoughts.
Oh. Oh. What? What?
That's the most aggressive he's ever been.
So I was like, why? Right? Oh no. Oh no. What? What just happened?
Ooh.
Okay, how long is the silence in the actual song though? That's what I'm wondering. I know, I'm just curious. See, this ending is like a really different like feeling, 느낌. But it still has the same like kind of synthy line happening. Like, not the same line exactly, but I mean like the chords.
It's the same like feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we always turn the most red whenever we see Super Junior on this channel. But anyways.
So, if my reaction was anything to go by, I don't have a lot to say. I'm kind of speechless. But yeah, like actually in more seriousness, I don't have too much to say just because one, it is the dance line of Super Junior. Like the dance line of Super Junior. How am I supposed to comment on that? 2, I have such major hard eyes right now that like my heart is still racing. And then 3, from a more logical perspective, I can't see a ton of the dance because of the way that it's edited in the music video and there's no stage of it yet. So I'll just say a couple of things. The first is like Anna kept saying in the reaction because she could actually speak. The song itself has more of like a retro vibe to it, like most of the D&E unit releases, but there's also retro elements to the dance. Like it's not the most complicated dance that I've ever seen them do, but they actually pulled in a lot of like popular retro dances. Like literally in the chorus they raise the roof. I'm not kidding, they raise the roof, but they make it look cool. Like it doesn't look cool when I do it. And so there's a lot of that sort of thing and a lot of like the snapping while doing like hip isolations and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see the full dance because you can tell that like it's just gonna be really cool. Okay, so I have thought this since we saw the original teasers, like the teaser pictures, the photos, and I actually thought it was really funny because during the music video I noticed that they have the part where Eunhyuk is rapping and they do like the clock arms around him, and I was like, wow, it really is High School Musical. Because when I saw that it was called B.A.D and they're like one of the teaser photos was them in like, it kind of looked like a junkyard or something, I literally messaged Anna and was like, I'm getting the boys are back feels from High School Musical, and that's what it reminded me of. Not the song obviously, but like that sort of vibe, and honestly I love it. The boys are back. But so then the other thing, the solo silhouette shots that they had of Eunhyuk dancing, wow, those were breathtaking. Like he's just such a stunning dancer. I mean they both are, but like the way that he moves his body is so fluid that it's just like, wow. And then I gasped because he did a pirouette, but instead of just being on 4 starch, which is how most people would do it, especially males, he actually goes onto his toe and does it on point. And I was like, and it made it look more suspended because I don't even think the shot had been slowed down. I think it's just how he was doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, the control that he has, because if you're not wearing the proper shoes to do that, it hurts. And like, he's just wearing regular, like, nice shoes, and then I just love it so much. I just love him. I love them, and I love this comeback. Okay, Anna's turn.
Hi. So I'm going to try to control myself and not speak too much, or else I'm going to ramble and fangirl. So I mentioned, and also Peyton referenced, the D&D songs are always a bit more like retro. I mean, part of it is just because like that's what they're going for. You just want to dance along to it and have fun with them. But then also I feel like that style just suits their voices better, because instrumentally I've noticed a lot of their music is just like very heavy on like high synth sounds, and it works with their voices because their voices are pretty bright. Sometimes it gets so bright that it can like verge on nasally, not to the extent of nasally, but it like tiptoes the line, but it won't go over that line because they have lots of experience and training and know not to do that. Anyways, talking about their voices and like the brightness of their voices, since it's not exactly nasally, but I've mentioned before, like when you sing from your mask, it's better because it's more forward and it'll like extend the sound further, like you'll project more basically. But I notice it a lot just to like suit the concept of this, and also just like the way their voices naturally are, their pronunciation of certain vowels and words, like a lot of stylistic choices that they have in their diction to make it suit the concept more, like be more funky sounding, but also like more piercing and ear catching. So like the biggest example is how they pronounce the word bad, because instead of saying like more of an ah sound, like ba, not, I'm exaggerating, but instead of being like bad, like bad, or how you would just say the word like I would say it bad, they're like bed. And once again, I am exaggerating, but like the instead of the ah, already it's more forward in your face, like the placement, so it feels like it's naturally just going to come more from your mask and from your nose. Like I said earlier, like when it comes from here and it's more forward, it's more piercing and ear catching for people who are listening. And like B.A.D, B.A.D, that is the name of the song, that is their entire chorus. You want that to stick in listeners' ears, so it makes sense. Just a general comment is that they have the genre changes, not exactly an entire genre shift, but like the slight genre change for like the bridge and the last chorus. But then speaking of bridge and last chorus, the build up into the last chorus, it was build up and then a vocal part and then silence. So it's really interesting because it's different from what you usually get, because usually it's like, okay, we're going up and then silence, but instead it felt more like, okay, we're going up, oh, slight stop, now silence. So it was really interesting for the trajectory of the song, but also like the vocal harmonizations were just like beautiful. So I just thought it was a really interesting choice. But I talked for longer than I thought I did.
That happens when it's Super Junior.
But anyways, I love them. That's all I had to say. Cool.
Anna, TLDR?
TLDR is Peyton and I are in love. Alright, that
Yep.
being said.
If you liked this video.
No, but like truly,
But
we
that's
love
not
Super
wrong.
Junior. I mean, it's not wrong, but like actual TLDR is, yes, we are in love, but we're just in awe of Super Junior and their effect on us, even when it's only 2 members of Super Junior. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Donghae and Eunhyuk, like their power, you know, but like not to undermine their power, but like still. And we're really enjoying this, and I think Peyton is especially excited for like when stages are out so we can see a dance, and we're just fanning ourselves. Wow, okay, Peyton.
That being said, if you liked this video, if you also like Super Junior D&E's comeback, if you enjoyed seeing us just blush and fall to pieces at the power of Donghae and Eunhyuk, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. Bye. Bye.